if I was a billionaire, I would still be a part of the FGC. TikTok turnoff #1 for me has to be ice cream so good. Ice cream so good.
She FaceTimed me and she just held up this little outfit that said player 3 has entered the game.
No.
Yeah. Aaron.
Ooh, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just got
dude.
deep.
My dad is, I would say, is like my best friend.
Awesome.
I look and I saw my dad on the news being put on an ambulance. He had got shot.
Well, how old are you at this point?
I don't know, maybe like 9. I still remember riding in the car at night. I know we just made a dramatic shift. I apologize. But, you know my boy, I'm outside.
Join LA as well. Oh,
And
no.
I'm in LA, bro.
What is the most expensive thing you've bought in the past 5 years?
I bought myself.
Yes! What did you buy?
Right now, I'm doing a series that I call Listening to White Music. That's what it's called. Bro, what the fuck?
Killing in the name of.
Let's air this out right now.
Yeah.
We do not listen to Nickelback. We don't listen to any of that shit. I ain't gonna lie, that bitch a little vibe. You're not about to catch me on my way to the club, turn on some Bewitched. And she gonna be,
Shh, don't tell mum. Hello and welcome to Shh, Don't Tell Mum. My name is Barney and this is the number 7th most listened to parenting podcast in South Africa. How crazy is that?
Come on, let's fire.
I'm joined by Hollywood Rob, aka Rob, aka. Have you got any other acronyms for your name?
Man, just, I think that's pretty much it. Big Hollywood.
Big Hollywood.
Yeah, so just RobTV, man. Hollywood RobTV. Make sure y'all are tuning in to my man's. Actually, they already here at this point. Number 7 South Africa. You didn't tell me that, man. That's amazing.
I know. We have all
Congratulations.
these. We open up the podcast every time. Me and my partner Jamie. We always open it up with like a different fact about the podcast. So like last time it was like we're number 1 in Estonia for parenting.
Yeah.
And like these random countries all over the world listen to our podcast, but like about specifically in the category of parenting.
Yeah.
We always check the numbers and it's so funny
That
to see.
That reach is cool, ain't it? To think
Yeah.
about, like even probably places that you never even like Estonians. Like,
Yeah,
have
yeah.
you been to Estonia
Like
yet?
Slovakia. Like we were like
Yeah.
number 1 for like a month in Slovakia, and we were like, this
That's
is
fire.
so random.
Yeah, that's
Probably
dope,
means
though.
it got like 3 listens, but
That's cap.
it's fun though, man. It's good.
You don't gotta downplay. I
Yeah.
respect it. I respect what you're doing. I respect the hustle. It's fire.
So I feel like we should kind of start. Let's start where me and you first met. Actually, me and you first
Yeah.
met. How many years ago was it? It was about 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I think it was 2021. That was we were actually in Poland.
We were.
Now, mind you, for me, that's my first time going overseas
ever.
right? So
Damn.
now in the last, we'll talk about it, I guess, like in the last couple months I've gone overseas a couple times. We're overseas right now.
Yeah, we are.
But yeah, that was actually in Poland. I lived out there for a month. How long were you there?
I was there for like a month. I did.
As well.
We were working on something called the Intel World Open. We both work in the field of esports, and we were working on the Street Fighter 5 at the time.
That was
right?
5. Yeah,
Street Fighter
that was
5 at the
5.
time, and then I was working on the Rocket League tournament as well. And so yeah, being out there and doing the Intel World Open, and then I did Gamers Without Borders, which was like straight after, which is a charity event, which
I remember that.
goes for weeks and stuff. So yeah, I found out. I think at that time when we were together, that's when I found out that Jamie was pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That was so crazy. She called me, she FaceTimed me, and she just held up this little outfit that said player 3 has entered the game.
No.
Yeah.
That is so dope.
I was like, no way.
Bro, that's how she told you.
That's how she told me, because she didn't
That's
want me.
dope.
She didn't want to wait until for like weeks until I came back.
Yeah,
She was like,
yeah.
I have to tell him.
Yeah, you probably would feel horrible if you got back and then you just
Yeah.
found out after, like, nah, that's dope.
So it
I know
was
you probably
crazy.
put on the best hosting performance of all time.
Yeah. I
After
was
that,
like,
man,
"Gotta
just
make
all
this money."
smiles. Like, that's fire, bro.
It was so good. But okay, so we met at the Intel World Open a couple of years ago, and then since then, you said you've been traveling a lot overseas. What's been like the build? What's the build been like for you? Because also you're quite focused in on your YouTube stuff as well, and
Yeah.
YouTube and gaming, for those of you who don't know, and obviously Twitch, it all goes hand in hand.
It's all related. Yeah, so basically, at that time when I met you, I wasn't even living in Los Angeles yet. Now I've lived in Los Angeles now for like a little over a year. So that move, of course, is not random. You know, I'm originally from Ohio, which is very different than LA. So I moved to LA because of my interest in, all of this, anything
entertainment
to do with the camera.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I just love being, not anything to do with the camera, but I ain't trying to do anything. But you know what I mean? At least the non-rated
Yeah,
whatever
of course,
stuff.
yeah.
So now as far as the build up since then, yeah, I had a big move to LA. I work at a production company as far as like as a day job, at least for now. I think
sure.
I'll only be there
go
for
full time with content and gaming stuff.
which
right?
I was full time. I haven't had a regular job since 2016. I quit to fully pursue trying to grow within, like at that time it was just like the esports side of things, and I did like YouTube, but it was more all fighting game related. So I was actually pretty broke.
Okay, yeah.
And you know how it goes.
Sure.
And luckily I ended up making all that stuff work out. So since then, like when I met you, I was a bit earlier in like my hosting stuff. I had probably been hosting and everything for like a year, I would say. And yeah, so since then, man, it's been a whole lot. Like, I've done Red Bull Kumites since then. The most recent one was South Africa. Bro, I got to tell you.
You got to travel to South Africa to do a gig.
I was there for a week, and I'm telling you, bro, like.
It's amazing, right?
Yes, and it meant a lot to me, as a Black American. Most of us, we never end up, going over to Africa,
sure.
Even though that's where we're from. Technically, of course, everybody's from there, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
yeah.
Course,
like so, getting over there and having Nelson Mandela on the money. You gotta think. For me, my
Big
brain
deal.
is like I've never seen a Black person on money. So that alone, I'm already tripping.
Yeah.
And then I'm having crazy, just amazing conversations with people out there, meeting people on the streets. I don't just go travel somewhere and stay in a hotel. Like, I got to go and experience the culture.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, so that was an absolutely phenomenal experience for sure. And then now, of course, being here for Saudi Arabia for Gamers 8, I still can't even believe, like, when I say it out loud, it's like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? What's going on?
Yeah, for sure. I think for people obviously listening or watching this, wherever you get your podcasts from, we are actually live from Saudi Arabia. We're in Riyadh right now. That's obviously why Jamie is not with me. So typically we do this podcast together and we interview typically parents actually. So it's really exciting to have someone from like a different kind of background, and you're not quite at that parenting stage yet, but we'll get to the whole like family chat anyway. But it's really exciting to have you on because for me, meeting people across this industry that we are so passionate about is like such a high point in my life, because I get to meet people from different cultures, backgrounds, and different interests as well, because I wasn't really aware of the fight game community, the FGC, which we relate to. I wasn't hugely aware of the popularity of it and where it kind of sits in the esports world, because within esports you have like the traditional side of things, something that we call the legacy esports, which is like Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Dota, StarCraft, the ones that were like at the very beginning. And then the FGC is kind of more embedded in like street culture as well. So like in typical esports, you have the show, you have the tournament, and everyone leaves. Whereas you told me the first time I met you that even after a tournament is finished, when you go into like the foyer of the hotel, that the people are like gambling.
That's the most
and,
important.
Like, playing each other,
yes,
and
that's
like,
called like we call them like salty sweets and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like that's just as important as the tournament as far as the fun and the enjoyment of the event. So we'll actually all meet up. Now we'll even do like official productions and whatnot with it. Wow. But before that, it wouldn't even be productions. Like we just all meet up there and we just have, like I said, money matches. Maybe if people choose to partake, we might have some drinks or whatever. Yeah. And it's extremely hype, a whole lot of trash talking and everything. Yeah. The FGC is a very special place and it's growing tremendously. Like we just had Evo, Street Fighter 6 had over 7,000 entrants. Evo you had
12,000 people in the arena watching.
Just
like you sold out an arena.
Yeah. Bro, it was ridiculous, man. It's special. Like, so it looked like you was at a Drake concert or something like that, man, or Jay-Z or something. So the FGC, I always will love. That's something that if I was a billionaire, I would still, be a part of the FGC. But with that being said, my goal is not. I like to stay challenged. So my goal is not even esports, or the FGC alone. This is all a part of it.
Yeah, it's part of
but
the
it's a journey.
Process.
You know what I mean? Sure. All of it is a journey, bro. So yeah, I just want to.
So where's the pinnacle in your mind? Like, so where you have this journey in mind. FGC's part of it, hosting and entertainment, YouTube is part of it.
Yeah.
What's the peak of the mountain for you right now? So if you could get somewhere right now, whether it's having your own talk show, having a huge YouTube channel where you could just work from home, like, or doing red carpet, like what's the goal in your mind right now? Because that changes as well,
It does.
like, as you grow through the industry. I thought that I wanted to do COD. So me, Call of Duty was the pinnacle of this entire kind of esports journey for me. I watched one COD show live and was like, I never want to do this.
That's fascinating.
I didn't enjoy seeing it from the perspective of a viewer. It's amazing, like, and someone who's part of the culture. Like, I love Call of Duty, but then looking at it through the eyes of people who were actually working on the show, I just didn't look like it looked enjoyable.
Fun,
I was just a bit put off by it. I don't know why. I guess, when people say never meet your heroes.
Yes,
Call of
bro.
Duty was like my favorite game, and then I was like, if I work on this game, I feel like I'm going to lose love for it.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah. So sorry, for you, what's the pinnacle?
So for one, I like what you said about how stuff changes over time. There's some, saying that you can only connect the dots looking backwards.
Interesting.
So I do not want to pretend that I perfectly know the exact route. You never know who you're going to meet with this and
opportunities will present themselves to you, and you have to decide, is this part of my journey or not?
Yes. I feel like it's more so like, I know, like, at this point I have so much proof of concept over the years, like, as far as I know I'm in the right
trajectory.
Yeah, I know everything is going in the right way, in the right direction. But man, like YouTube, I fully believe in building your own brand.
100%.
And having stuff that you actually control, because this is the thing, man. We get on these big platforms as hosts and everything, and it's literally our job to be entertaining, to make the fans laugh or maybe make us, or even cry, or whatever it may be, right? Evoke emotions, to entertain overall. That is the same skill set needed for a podcast, for YouTube videos, for anything. So with that being the case, I fully disagree with people who are, I don't want to say I really disagree with them, but I personally would recommend, why just be a host or whatever and not also build your own things? Because technically, in the end of the day, people could stop calling. In theory, it's not up to us.
It's never a guaranteed job. As much as you think that you're ingrained in the culture of a certain game that you're working in, it's never a guarantee. Ever.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what if it just switches over to, and maybe just some new person comes in and from the behind the scenes side and decides, for whatever reason, they just don't rock with you, do, or it could be anything. So yeah, man. Of course, like I said, I told you I'm in LA, so I definitely want to. I feel like as far as this hosting thing, I'm very, the skills that we need.
Sure.
We're very quick live.
Yeah.
Like, just being able to react to things. Something happens in the crowd or something happens backstage, I can just implement it right there immediately and whatever. So I like doing that sort of thing. But at the same time, I also think that acting might be interesting. I think acting could be cool. But I do like the fact with content creation, we can be more, I would say, use the word unhinged, unfiltered.
Yeah.
Think about Michael B. Jordan or Idris Elba, right? Yeah. They're amazing, and I would love to do what they do, and maybe I could do something in that realm one day. But at the same time, they have to keep such a perfect, clean image.
Of course, yeah. And if anything negative comes up, like you've seen what's happened with the guy who plays Kang. Sorry, I forget his name.
You're talking about Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors, like something like from his past, and then like his career's practically over.
It could be GG's, exactly. Even if it's from accusation or if you do something specifically. Yeah. So yeah, that's a scary thing. But yeah, the fact that they can't kind of just give their opinions on things, for example. So I like the idea of being able to be myself and still be able to make a career. So I don't know if it's gonna end up being this content stuff, man. In the long call, I don't know if it's going to be this hosting stuff. Like, eventually, maybe I'm hosting the Grammys and stuff like that, BET Awards.
So, pick a pinnacle for me right here, right now. One job that you're like, that right now in my mind is the best job.
One.
So
if I had to pick one,
even if it's just like hosting the Oscars.
If I had to pick one, right now, it would be content. It would be something in content creation.
Just like blowing up your YouTube channel and it, surpassing a million.
Right, because I look at Logan Paul Jake
Yeah.
Paul. I know that they're controversial people, but I'm not talking about, in the end of the day, them, KSI. I started watching KSI so long ago.
Yeah.
When he was a FIFA YouTuber, when I was in college, I was watching KSI. But these guys have built something where it doesn't matter what they do per se. People are fans of them. So now they can go and, okay, I make music now.
Yeah,
I make FIFA videos.
sure.
I make reaction videos. Okay, now I'm doing a movie. Oh, now I'm in the WWE. Oh, now I'm boxing. That is amazing to me. That is being able to have true creative expression, true freedom, and not just having to do the same thing over and over again because it works. I think at first you have to stick to some type of niche and do the same thing over and over again to grow, but then eventually you can get to like a critical mass point and do whatever it is that you want to do. So that's what I'm more so interested in right now.
Okay. Yeah, I think growing your own thing, like you said as well, gives you creative control. So then that also allows you to kind of control your own trajectory. And therefore, if you blow up on one thing, like, there's that saying, jack of all trades.
Yeah.
It means like, you're doing your YouTube hosting, you're doing a podcast, you're doing X, Y, Z, kind of like what I'm doing. Whoops.
Literally,
but if you blow up on one specific thing and you harness all of your energy, put it into one thing, let's say like Mr. Beast, and you grow this, huge YouTube channel, you can bleed into other things because your success on one platform is so big. So I always feel like it is good to hone in all of your energy into one thing, because then down the line you get to do the other things.
Yes.
Don't try and do everything at once, because you spread yourself too thin, you burn yourself out. And if you can just focus on one specific thing, whether it's YouTube, whether it's hosting, so I've focused all my energy on hosting for 4 or 5 years, and then I was like, I'm going to try more social media stuff, and then luckily the TikTok stuff has happened, and now we're approaching 2 million followers on TikTok. So
My
then now,
dog.
yeah.
Come on, Banks.
So then that can like bleed into other things, and then now because the TikTok has grown, we can then go into YouTube, into podcasting, and not be worried that we're spreading ourselves too thin, because the TikTok is helping to boost the numbers.
Yes.
And that's kind of the trajectory that we're on right now as like a family. And then the
It's
esports
like
stuff is still separate.
Wash the other hand.
Exactly,
type of situation.
100%. So we have a tradition on this podcast where we discuss something called TikTok turnoffs. Now, it doesn't have to be specific with TikTok, like if there's something on Instagram or YouTube or stuff, but essentially what this segment is of the show is we talk about things that really turn us off on social media. So whatever you've seen recently, or if there's a trend going on that you're like, what the fuck is going on? Then we can talk about that. I think if you need time to think, I can come up with one right now. Okay, yes. Hit me, Rob.
All right, bro. All right, you know what? I'm not going to lie, bro. Even though I might be a corporate on this podcast when we start talking about it to some degree. However,
camera one, it's your camera.
Okay, all right. TikTok turnoff number one for me has to be like relationship. When people do those relationship podcast clips and they act like they just know everything about how a relationship's supposed to go, or they might go in there and talk about like, damn, I don't know how unfiltered I could be, bruh. All right, you can edit it out. Fuck it.
I can edit it out.
So basically, they might go that like a dude might be on there and they might have a guest, like a female guest, and she might just be the worst, most like anti-man, anti-relationship, anti-anything positive woman in the world, and he uses her to be like the example of what all women are, pretty much.
Guru. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then people are, oh yeah, of course, all that. Like I can't stand those type of podcasts and everything. I understand why they're good though, because it is entertaining, and I do find myself it's clickbait. It's hard not to. And if you happen to be in a bad mood, and you have a bad experience recently, then you're like, yeah, he's spitting right now. He's spitting facts. But and the same thing on the other side too. Like not just on the dudes doing that, on the women doing it too. So this the relationship podcast thing. It's a bit deep for me. It's a bit much. And I'm somebody who's a bit jaded in that regard. And I'm still saying, bro, y'all a little extra with that.
It does make me laugh that you did that whole piece to camera.
Yeah.
I was like, this is your camera.
Yeah,
That's
for
so
sure.
Funny. I think for me, I mean, the most obvious one that sticks out to my mind right now is NPC stuff. of people going like,
Oh,
fire,
ice cream so
fire,
good. Ice cream so good.
I don't understand.
Hey, she cooking
What's
though.
going
I don't
on?
know what. I don't understand.
Sorry for interrupting during the middle of this podcast, but if you could smash the like button and give us a 5-star review, that would really, really help, because we like to get more and more incredible guests like RobTV on this podcast. And the more that you guys review and the more that you guys rate and rant and rave about this podcast, then the bigger it becomes and the bigger the guests that we can get. So thank you so much. Back to the episode. I saw a video yesterday that's saying that she makes at least $7,000 a day doing that.
She's approaching. She's approaching Banks territory.
Like,
She's approaching. She
wish
might get there
I was
one
making
day.
7K
She
a
might
day.
get there, Banks.
Dude, she's live to like 70,000 people on
70,000.
TikTok at one time.
You know, would you believe? And back in the day, and shout out to her. I've matured enough now to not look at it this way, and I've learned enough. But back in the day, I actually used to think, when I seen people like that, I would think, man, this is what it takes.
Yeah.
And you got to do some weird or crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's somebody named Boom Gang, or there's somebody else in shout out to Boom Gang. There's somebody else in the UK, I forgot who it is, who they just do crazy stuff. Like, they just go and harass the train conductor or all this, and harass or steal somebody's dog and run.
Yeah.
And get I'm like, yo, is that what the internet is? Like, you can't actually, does talent matter anymore?
Yeah.
But I realize now, of course, that if you're really talented, the cream gonna rise to the crop and last.
Yes, yeah, it's
that
all about
stuff not gonna
longevity.
last.
Like, this is going to be a drop in the ocean. And the funny thing is, what I imagine now, I don't know if it's because I'm a parent now and stuff, but the way that I perceive things that happen, that trends that happen right now, is like, if this trend pops off and you do well and stuff, how are you going to explain this to your kids when you're older? So imagine they can just go online and see this girl. I think she's called Pinky something.
Oh, Pinky Doll.
Is Pinky Doll.
Pinky Doll.
Imagine she's got to explain this to her kids later in life and be like, yeah, I made all this money, so like we can now live in this house and we can, you can go to private education or whatever. But ultimately, you were acting like
NPC.
a nut job. Like,
But
I'm sorry.
you know
it's
what? But
crazy.
the thing is, what will be the true test, I feel like you can get popping one way, but then what do you do off of it?
What do you do with that popularity?
I think I seen her say she wants to go to Hollywood and take over, something like that. So this the thing.
Whoever
might
hires her in Hollywood, shame on you.
No. I think you never know, bro.
Yeah, you never know.
Maybe
but then, like,
she actually ends up being fired.
But imagine like King Batch, right? He was huge on Vine, did really well. But the stuff he did on Vine was acting related.
Yeah.
It was all like skits and
That's
comedy
true.
stuff. And he's now in loads of movies. So like I respect that trajectory. But if the trajectory of getting popular is by like stealing someone's dog and like doing something, and then you hire them for Hollywood, I'm like, come on, guys.
But
this
you know what?
is
That's
stupid.
the thing is, like, I've heard somebody say that it's like I forgot the exact wording, but basically like attention now is like being able to garner attention is now the currency.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Huge, like, this is what every single app that has like social media relations like on the app, they're fighting for your attention. That's what they're doing. So
that's
like
the whole point.
TikTok is fighting to get as much attention from you as possible by scrolling. YouTube is trying to get as much attention from you by doing long form so that you stay on the app. Like, they're just trying to get you to stay on the app for as long as they physically can. And however they do that is, down to however they run their business.
And I think that the fact that now there's levels. Like I said, the stealing
yeah.
dogs and stuff.
No, yeah, you can't commit crimes to gain
That's
popularity.
crazy. But the NPC stuff, you would never see me doing that. This is for funny, like for me being funny.
Yeah.
Personally, and I do not think that is necessarily a talent. I'm not gonna lie. I do not think that's a talent per se.
No.
However, if she can maybe transition it into nowadays, bro, people are famous for the most random.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, there's some people who are famous, and I don't understand what they necessarily do.
Yeah.
Like, you could just be, I don't know, actually.
A good example of that for me is David Dobrik. I'm like, he's not particularly.
Is he a YouTuber?
He's like a YouTuber, and Snapchat's like his thing now. He's like the most highest paid person on Snapchat.
Wow.
But, and this is no like offense to him, because he's like he has a great podcast. I've actually listened to a few episodes and stuff. But he's just kind of like famous for being famous. He's just famous. It's a bit like the Kim Kardashian thing. He's famous for who he hangs out with. Like, he's not, but he doesn't personally have like a talent. He's not like an actor. He just kind of like
And he's not a big
selfie
YouTuber.
records
Is he a
himself
big-
like, this is what I'm up to
He's a
today, and it's
Snapchat
just
dude. Oh, that's
it's
fascinating.
it's crazy. And like I actually find him quite fascinating because I've watched his stuff before, and I'm like, I catch myself watching it for ages and going like, I was just watching him just like sit around on his couch and just talk about nonsense.
But something about him just draws you in.
Got quite like an infectious personality. I watch him because he's like super positive energy and he's always smiling and stuff like that. And I believe that that's kind of what drew me to you as a person when we first met, is that you've got high energy, obviously, and like you know, and the FGC community are very like hype and like opinionated, but in a good way, because there's so much, like there's all these characters you can play as in Street Fighter. Everyone has their own opinion about who's like buffed better and like all this kind of the ins and outs of the game itself. But you, like 95% of the time, it's always positivity that comes out of your mouth, and that is what I admire about you as a person, but also, you know, even working together and stuff. It doesn't seem like it, because ultimately, like this room we are in right now, the way that shows are put on, it's kind of like everything's great, everything's positive, everything's cool, but you know, it can be really hard work.
Oh,
man.
for sure.
Behind the scenes,
I
like
feel
they don't
like
see,
the entertainment industry in general, people.
Exactly.
It's fascinating to me. It's
turd.
our job to only, like, no matter what.
Yeah.
We got to make it look all good and smiley.
Even if stuff's
perfect.
going wrong, we play it off like, no, everything's great. Like, nothing's going wrong.
An easy example of that is even just the millions of times doing shows that we've had the producers in our ear, like,
having a meltdown.
Yeah, or they're like, oh, you need to hold, or, you know, whatever. We got to just
fill time quick. Yeah.
And then they might tell you, like, okay, just fill for 1 minute. And then that 1 minute passing, like, actually 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever issue is just that hard to resolve or whatever. But, yeah, I think about that. Like, the same way, you know, your partner, she hit you up and gave you that thing about the player 3 on the way, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's the beautiful news. But you could also get into an argument that day, or not that day, but any day.
Yeah.
And you still have to, like, if, you know, you still have to go on set.
Yeah.
And
pretend like
all
everything's
of that
okay.
behind you. And you can't even be in a regular mood. You need to turn it on, you know. But it's at the same time, it's difficult. It can be difficult, but it's also, you know, like a privilege. Speaking of player 3, man.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we get to this.
Yes. Yeah.
To this
for sure.
conversation as well. The whole
parenting.
Thing,
Yeah.
I
mean, this is ultimately what this podcast is about. This is I started this podcast calling it Don't Tell Mum. We then realized that there were like 20 podcasts out there called Don't Tell Mum.
Yeah.
So we call it Shh, Don't Tell Mum.
Yeah.
Which is added the shush at the beginning.
And that has a better ring to it, too.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, sometimes it's harder for people to find online because you got to, like, it's like one S, 3 H's, 3 dots, and then, so it's like, no. So I'm kind of tempted to bring it back to just Don't Tell Mum, but we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. And I think that ultimately for me, like, having kids has changed my life, of course. Having Rocket, he's amazing. And
that is one of the coolest names I've ever heard for a
Rocket
kid.
Banks.
I know, I already know what type of parents. Yeah. Of course, I know you. I haven't met your missus, but even the way that you said she messaged you and all that, like, okay, I can see.
Oh, man, she's amazing. And, like, you know, being away here for, like, months at a time, sometimes, like, you know, you got to have a special kind of partner to take the reins and, you know, really embrace motherhood. And, you know, she also has a career. It's not like I don't expect her to put her career on hold when I come out here. So when I come out here and she's parenting and still continuing her DJ career, like, that's tough, man.
That's
DJ
dope.
hours are not kind either. She's DJing sometimes from like 8 p.m. till 3 a.m. like in some gigs. So
DJ.
Yeah.
That's
Do you not know she's
fire.
a DJ?
No.
Oh man, yeah. Jamie's
That's
a DJ.
fire.
She's amazing, man. She's such a good DJ. She was DJing at music festivals all over the summer. Like, she's really growing.
Man's
so
name, the kid's name is Rocket.
Yeah.
And it has a dad that's a host and a mom that's a DJ.
Yeah.
That is amazing, bro.
We're doing
That's dope.
And I mean,
That's dope.
and our kid is ultimately more famous than both of us put together.
Already. That's fire.
Already. So, I feel like let's go, you know, let's rewind. You know, we've spoken about careers, spoken about how we met. We've spoken about, you know, many things to do with like how we perceive our trajectory going. But let's bring the trajectory slightly back. And how was from your words, like your upbringing, your relationship with your parents? What's it like now? You know, because then these baby steps, these things that happen early in your life can really impact how you are in the future as a parent.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just got
dude.
deep.
Yeah, that is really deep. Okay.
So growing up, you know, how was your relationship with them? who do you like feel like you emulate more out of like your parents? Who do you look up to?
Yeah.
Because we do always, and I know a lot of people sometimes don't agree with this, but you do always kind of resonate more with one parent.
You know,
With men,
so,
it's typically the mother, but
yeah, really.
yeah,
Okay.
typically.
I guess I have seen that growing up. So I'm a junior, right? My mom and dad. My dad is currently, I would say, like, so for one, I love both my parents. Obviously, I still got
Yeah.
both of them. Thank God. My dad is, I would say, is like my best friend.
Awesome.
You know, right now in my life. You know, has been for forever. As far as growing up, just like a lot of black folks in America, more like most of us, I'm from the hood in America. Now, I don't, and it's in Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio. So, my mom, when I was, I want to say I was 3 years old, she actually had got locked up.
Okay.
She did 3 years at that time. So when she got, you know, when she was in that situation, which everything is good for my mom now, but when
Yeah.
she was in that situation, that's when I basically went to live with my grandma for a while. My dad, you know, so I'm with my dad's side of the family now at that point. So I'm with my father's side of the family, and my dad, you know, he's so young. My dad was only 15 when I was born. My mom was a teenager as well.
Okay.
So we're very close in age. One of the reasons that we're best friends and everything, right? So I go live with them. Now the thing is, my pops at that time, he's like right now he's an accountant, right? He's doing his thing. At that time, it wasn't like that, you know, it's because of circumstances. So I remember when I was a kid, before he had got custody of me. At this point, I'm still living with my grandma, like my dad's mom. But I would see my dad all the time, like he would always be over there.
I
and
mean, he's
stuff.
young, right?
But he's young.
He's
Still
figuring
getting
his own
figuring
stuff,
his stuff out. Exactly. So my mom, she had got locked up. Then eventually, when I'm a kid, my dad, I remember I was over a friend of mine's house, and he had like a 2-parent household and everything. Now he's still in the hood too, but still, even though he lived in my same street, he had a 2-parent household. They both had jobs. So to us, it seemed like he was like I don't know, like rich and like
Sure.
Okay. We just weren't used to that.
Yeah.
So I go hang out over his house. My homie LJ, I wonder where he's at nowadays, man. But I never forget this one night I'm over his house, and his mom says, "Robert," she's like, she said, "Are you a junior or whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she asked me, she said,
What do you mean by saying you're a junior? Are you a junior?
like, if, you know, the same name as my dad. So, like, he's
Oh,
Robert
is
Burney,
it-
I'm Robert Burney Jr.
Okay, so you have a Robert Senior and a Robert Junior.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, she was like, then she calls my grandma. Like, she had called, basically when I went in there to the room, because she was freaking out, I looked, and I saw my dad being put on the news, being put on a ambulance. He had got shot.
What, how old are you at this point?
I was a kid. I had to be, I don't know, maybe like 9 or maybe 8,
Your dad got
9,
shot.
something like that. Yeah, at that time, you know, life was different for him. He was younger, man. So, you know, he shouldn't have been in that situation.
Okay.
It was a very crazy story. But yeah, basically it was regular hood stuff going on.
Okay.
He was involved in, and yeah, he got shot. And I remember seeing him on the news. So I remember I didn't understand he got shot though. I seen him go to the hospital. Then I think my grandma, she picked me up, and she tells me, like, she's like, you know, your daddy got shot. My dad's mom telling me that, and I still remember that day. I still remember riding in the car at night, and I couldn't really fathom it. Like,
Do you feel like you didn't understand the severity of the situation? Like you were just like, oh.
Well, I did. I think I did because, you know, it was normal, man. Like, that type of stuff was normal in the hood. But for it to be my dad was like, you know, even at that young age, dude, we seen so much already by the time we 9 years old or whatever. Like, I feel like it's like cliche to say, but, or I even think it might go in one ear and out the other, man. But if you really, it really is like the movies, like, you know, all that crazy stuff that happens is just normal or whatever, bro. So, you know, like I said, I ain't trying to, for time's sake, I won't go into my full story, at least right now, maybe a future podcast or something that we do.
For sure, man.
But yeah, basically, so my mom, she did time, you know, they were young parents. My pops early on had got shot, even though he, very smart guy and all that stuff. My mom, very loving woman and everything. So I've lived in the projects, around dope fiends and stuff as kids. The first time, I don't know if I want to say that, man. Damn.
It's okay. You can say whatever you want to say, man.
Yeah, I feel like the first time outside of like a movie, I'm just now really thinking of this. I feel like the first time outside of a movie that I saw like a woman, like, I guess like exposed in front of me in person.
Yeah.
I was a kid, probably like 10 or 11, and it was just because I remember I was so shocked. There was this crackhead in the hood, like in the projects I lived in called Westlake, and she had like this like vest on or something like that, but she's like running around like she was arguing with somebody or something, and I just remember her chest all out or whatever, just like, around like our playground or something like that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But that, that type of stuff is regular, or seeing that stuff, or fights, or, like I lived in a homeless shelter before with my mom called the Rescue Mission. Yeah, it's just all kind of regular hood stuff, So statistically, all of this going on right now is pretty, improbable. But yes, from the parenting standpoint, though, eventually, of course, my dad, he gets custody of me. And when I was 11 years old, and that's when I guess I don't know. I guess we were always close, but at that point, I'm there with him and my stepmom and my brothers and stuff. We still are in the hood. However, the home life I would say was at least better than the average person in the hood. And my dad kept me having sense. Like if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for my dad, surely I'd be dead or in jail or doing some.
So he kept you on like the straight and narrow, like growing up,
as much
like,
as he could.
Sure, of course.
And at the end of the day,
there's only so much you can do.
He's not around me all day, so I'm going to school with
kids who are probably like getting into that side of things.
Exactly, and that's the homies. You know what I'm saying? These are my friends and whatnot. So, all of us in the hood know hella people who got killed while we were in high school, let alone people who've been killed since then, like, or locked up for extended periods of time, or, all that type of stuff is very normal, sadly, unfortunately. It give you some type of survivor's guilt, to be honest with you. But to stick to the parenting concept, I would definitely say that my dad, man, that dude is an absolute superhero, like the person that I'm the most inspired by in the world is definitely my pops, man. Like to this day, man, I could be about to negotiate a contract. I could be talking about something to do with a woman that I'm talking to. It could be anything in the world, and I will call my dad to this day. He's 30 now,
go-to.
bro.
He's the go-to, yeah.
For sure, dude. So I definitely think that and then as far as my mom, our relationship has gotten far better over the years. I think the whole thing with the getting locked up, and then the whole custody thing, me going over with my dad. And,
yeah, sure.
I kind of spent a lot more time in my life with my dad's side of the family than my mom and her side of the family. But we've like rekindled our relationship, and it's gotten a lot better recently. So.
Damn.
Yeah.
So off the back of that, when you do eventually, if you plan on becoming a dad.
Yes,
I don't know if this is like you do.
That's like
would you like to have kids? Do you have an idea of like how you would be as a dad? Obviously, you have your dad as like you have your pops as like a person to emulate as he brought you up. What would you do differently? Because I was brought up in quite a sheltered life. Like sorry, mum, but like my mum's quite paranoid.
Yeah.
God, you should have seen what they were like during COVID and stuff like that. Like quite paranoid. Dad worked a lot. Dad was out of the house a lot and didn't see him too much, but he's still an amazing guy. And I get on with him like really well. Both of my parents really well.
Yeah.
They both kind of instilled different values into me. And my mum, is quite, protective. So therefore becomes a little bit paranoid about certain situations. Exactly. So then for me, having that kind of sheltered upbringing lets me kind of be a bit freer as a parent to go, okay, well, I can kind of push the envelope out a little bit more and be a bit more adventurous and, go away to do more things with him because I don't want him to feel like
Yeah.
I want him to be able to. I want Rocket when he's older to be able to go and explore and do his own thing, you know. And then I'll always be there to help him if he needs it. But I like the sense of him having some sort of independence.
And letting him
I
figure
didn't
it
feel
out
like I
and
had a
kinda
lot of
just-
independence growing up. So I guess that's what I would do differently. So for you, obviously growing up, I mean, there's the obvious of, you know, I imagine you don't want your kids to grow up in the hood.
Yeah,
So
of
that's
course.
obviously the obvious
Yeah.
one. But I mean, in terms of like actual parenting styles, are there certain things that you would avoid from your own upbringing?
Yeah, I definitely would say, damn, I'm gonna put it. I would say from a discipline standpoint, I think I personally won't do any of like, I know I won't do any of like the whoopings or anything
Physical,
like that.
yeah.
I'm not with that. I think that it may have been, and you know, my pops, he don't agree with that now either. You know,
It's a
It's
generational thing. It's
Yes.
like it's just that's what people did. So I was, you know, smacked or whatever.
oh, you were
growing-
too.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's how I was.
But I
raised.
mean, I think it's just a generational thing. I think that nowadays we understand that that might not be the best way to get the most out of your kid.
Yes.
But back then, that's what they thought. So I don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't want my kids to have any type of any type of, I guess, like fear
Yeah.
of me ever. I don't want any of that. Which, you know, pops, you know, ain't nobody scared of you, pop. You know, you my dog. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when we're kids,
Yeah.
it's imposing, like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, that type of thing. Don't make me call your dad. You
Yeah,
know,
of
you know what
course.
or
Yeah.
mom's doing everything. I think I can't help but tie a lot to finances, bro. Like, money is very important to me, dude. Like, people talk about it in a way of, oh, it don't matter in XYZ. Nah, I'm sorry, that's just not true. It matters a lot. You know, there is so many things. Literally, it could be life and death. Like, there is so many things that I never would have experienced, or my siblings never would experience, or my dad would never experience, or my mom, if their parents were better off financially, or you know what I mean? There's remnants of that to this day, even now with me being somebody who has now left the hood for so many years now and gone to college, and you know, now I got fans in different countries and all this cool stuff like that, right? I'm here with you in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And still, the hood is so, or poverty itself, I don't even want to call it the hood, because I would imagine it's the same for somebody who's in a trailer park or something like that, dude.
Yeah.
That poverty has such lasting effects. I haven't been broke in a little while now, but it has such lasting effects that I still have certain traits or fears. I don't feel comfortable with, I don't care what my bank account says, bro. Kendrick Lamar has a bar. He says he said I made my first million effing dollars. He said I'm in a mirror with a Bible. He said he has a Bible and a chopper, like a gun, and binoculars. He said because he's scared. This don't happen to everybody.
Yeah.
So basically, you know, of course, I'm sure that's hyperbole for the sake of a bar.
Yeah.
But just that whole concept, man, of like none of it feels real or safe. There's always some bottom ready to fall out.
Are you scared of spending money?
For sure.
So like when you earn money, let's say from jobs like this or whatever it is, let's say if you feel like you need a new car or want a new car, are you scared of spending it? Because I am.
It feels, yes.
I'm terrified.
It feels, you feel guilty.
Yeah.
Like one thing you got to do, of course, we have no choice but to buy a lot of clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're on camera so much. But yeah, it does feel weird, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, bruh, yeah, I guess that in itself, I don't know when I would ever get used to being comfortable. Like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, man, I'm not gonna put my personal business, but you know, like we get decent paychecks, for what we do.
For sure.
Man, it's a bit bizarre. Like, we're not like millionaires or nothing like that. Or I'm not gonna speak on you. You know,
I'm not either. It's honestly just like you still essentially, because you're freelance, you still live paycheck to paycheck. Like you don't have
weird too, bro.
income. Yeah,
that's weird too, because on a regular job, then you get paid every week.
Yeah,
I had an issue with that from a relationship standpoint. Actually, I want to talk to you about that before we leave. Too,
yeah, sure.
What time is it? Okay, good.
We got 10 minutes.
We got time. Okay, we
Yeah,
got 10
yeah,
minutes. Yeah, catch the shuttle when you got to do your thing too. All right, so to the kids thing. I know we just made a dramatic shift. I apologize, but to the kids thing. So I have always wanted the platonic, not platonic. The what is it called? Like nuclear family, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Is
So
it-
like the white picket fence, the kids, the
Yes.
Yeah.
Always.
That's
'Cause
the
not
American
what I had.
dream.
That's the American dream. Always wanted that.
Yeah.
So, I'm someone who I even had, even though I'm young, I had like a 12-year, 13-year relationship or something like that. High school sweetheart type of thing. Not going on anymore. I'm single now.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I don't know when in the world I will be able to have a kid because I always felt like this, right? I always wanted to have my girl, my wife, or whatever before, like I always wanted her early before anything pops off crazy or whatever, right?
Okay, sure. So you want to like have that relationship like extensive before you do
Whatever
kids,
else.
house, dog.
Well,
car.
what I'm saying is before. I'm not saying that.
Oh.
If it's right, it's right. Before career-wise.
Ah.
Now, it's not like, obviously, bro, how can I put it? I'm not trying to say that I'm Drake, bro. Obviously.
You don't want people to be with you for the wrong reasons. Is that what you're
Exactly.
saying? Yeah.
Now, obviously, it's not like right now. I just want people to understand. I'm not delusional. However,
You have some success.
I have some success.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
And it's going to grow.
and it's
Hopefully. Yeah.
my dog. Right. So, but with that being the case, in the end of the day, whatever bread I do make or whatever I am doing, like as fans, stuff like that, it's just me. I don't have any kids.
Yeah.
It's just me, myself. I don't got to worry about nobody else. So whatever bread I'm making from this show or any other shows or whatever else I may be doing, it just goes to me for the time being. It's not that expensive for me to live, technically, even though LA is expensive. But you know what I'm saying. So even outside of money, even just somebody seeing, oh, this guy is
On TV.
on
or
TV,
YouTube. Yeah,
on
yeah.
YouTube. He's traveling here and there. People want to take pictures with him or whatever it may be. That alone switches the dynamic versus if I'm just a dude that's, I don't know,
An accountant.
an accountant.
Yeah.
Even if the accountant hypothetically makes more money
Crazy
than me,
money. Yeah.
it still doesn't,
'Cause
it's
you
not
have a
as
persona.
attractive.
Yeah, you have
Exactly.
a persona. There's like a public, like,
Right. So
understanding.
you're kind of just, to me, eventually, and right now I feel like it's not all the way to that point, obviously.
Yeah.
Even though, whatever. I think eventually, though, and with my plans, if I don't catch it soon, it's over with. And then there's also the other point where it's my fault as far as discipline.
Okay.
The options didn't expand it, my boy. The options didn't expand it, my boy. I'm outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm outside comfortable. And it's just that I was in a relationship for so long.
God, you're in LA as well. Oh,
And
no.
I'm in LA, bro. I'm in LA. There is so much to do. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people to meet, and people are nice. There's great women in this world.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, so right now, it's just like I have friends. I don't know nothing serious, no girlfriend or like that. Just friends, and that's like I've never had to do the whole thing where you were single, dating around like we do, like humans do,
Yeah.
men and women.
Yeah.
And then, you found somebody, and now it's time to cut all of that off.
Yeah.
Because I was just in a relationship since I was in high school.
Yeah.
So I never did this before. So
Man.
that's gonna be, and then the further stuff go, the more people I'm gonna meet.
Yeah. Of
I
course.
might meet women in other countries. I ain't saying I did or did not.
Well, you're single right now, so you can do
You
what
know
you
what
want,
I'm
bro.
saying? You never know.
I would.
So the kids
Yeah.
thing is just, and then outside of that, even lifestyle wise, if I'm saying pretty much that I want to do this entertainment, I mean I'm already doing it, but to like the, whatever, the same thing, whatever avenues that we choose to go. That means, like you said, being on the road often. Having to be away for months or whatever. If somebody's on a movie set or if they going to do content or whatever it may be, you might have to be gone for a very long time.
Yeah.
Well, that's harder to build up a great. I mean, it's amazing that you've been able to do it, but I just know even statistically, it's very difficult.
It is hard, man. But people do it. People do it that are much bigger than us as well that do it. So
Yeah.
it's just about staying genuine to who you are, not letting your career path or the
Yeah.
attention that you're getting garner how you are as a person, because that's how it gets problematic in those kinds of scenarios.
We've seen a lot of that.
We've seen a lot of that. There's two things I wanted to cover. First one, this is a stupid question, but I kind of feel like I need to ask it to you now. Past 5 years, you've built success. The YouTube channel's popping off. That's the thing I want to talk to you about. But first, before we get there, what is the most expensive thing you've bought in the past 5 years?
I bought myself a car for my birthday.
Yes. What did you buy? Because you've got success. You're allowed to do it. And also, I feel like we've spoken about money and how we're both kind of afraid of spending it. I'm planning on buying a car when I get back from this job.
Yeah, my dog.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that it's obviously a great opportunity as well, and it's something like for the family. I've got to buy a dad wagon, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
But having said that, I'm still really excited. So yeah, for you, what was the car?
Okay, it's nothing crazy. I mean, it's nice, but it's not like it's a 2019 Kia Optima. It's black. Yeah. Y'all can look it up.
The Kia.
The Kia Optima LX. Yeah, that joint hard. Now I ain't gonna lie to you. I almost got like there was like some like BMW.
Yeah.
But
like a 3 Series, like
I
a low
forgot
one?
what it was. Nothing crazy.
No, is it like an SUV or
no, not an SUV. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, like a 3
sedan
Series.
or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
So. But luckily, the dude told me, he like, look, bro, if you do get this, it costs way more just maintenance.
To run.
To run it. Yeah. I'm like, oh, hell no. So I got
Don't let that scare you.
Bro,
at
least for now. No, you're right. But like
for
stuff
now,
since I bought that, stuff has even kept going up even more since then. So maybe eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but my car right now is just like a regular nice whip. Like it's nice. It's mine.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, like it was literally my birthday, and that's like I definitely think that's the craziest thing that I like just kind of bought for myself. That's weird to even think about, man.
Yeah.
I think that is.
Okay, one last thing I need to talk to you about before we go.
YouTube, bro.
Dude, we're both in the journey.
Best platform, bro. That's
so
my
good. Like, so
platform.
much fun. Like, long hours. It can be really tough. You have this niche that I really want to speak to you about because it's hilarious. But also, I've seen other people doing it.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's about the personality behind it that carries the idea, the concept. So currently you're sitting on just over 50,000 subscribers, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Power to you. That's
Thanks,
awesome.
bro. Appreciate
GG.
you, dog.
So, yeah. You know what? Instead of me explaining what it is, tell us what this concept is and why you think it works.
Okay, so right now I'm doing a series that I call listening to white music or trying white music. That's what it's called.
I can give you a list, bro. I can give you a list.
Bro,
we should listen to one on this podcast.
That would actually be funny.
Yeah.
So
I'll get it up while you.
It's called Trying White Music, but the thing is, it's not like I had some freaking master. So to be completely transparent, I do not watch any of these videos as far as like other people's or
okay, yeah, sure.
It's not a genre or something like that.
Not really.
Like
no, I've only ever seen like one or two other people.
I think there is I found out from doing it. What I'm saying is it's not a genre that I partake in or I don't listen to it. I mean, I don't listen to white music, so why would I want to go watch it? Well, that's the whole point of the series. But basically, my homie John, shout out to John Craig, we're doing a show.
John as in Tyrant?
No.
Sorry.
He's somebody I work with in production company.
Gotcha.
So basically,
shout out John.
Shout out to John. We are quick flex. We was at the Golden Globes doing some production work. Whatever. I was out in the truck though. I wasn't in there.
Yeah.
So man, one day, so after the show, we out there talking, and all the guys are bringing up certain movies and certain songs, and they could not believe I never heard this stuff. And my homie John's like, bro, you should listen to
and
stuff
film it.
I think he's seen some like white dude listening to rap music or something like that. And he was like, bro, you should try out. So he just gave me song suggestions, and I went on there and boom,
that's how it started.
yeah. So this is the thing. Just like when it comes to fighting games or anything else, of course I love fighting games, so that's a little different. But in the end of the day, this is not like, it's not like, I feel like if I did, like, because of no cockiness, but because people enjoy my personality,
sure,
I could run this up to 1 million subscribers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to.
Okay.
That's not the point. I'm doing it. I don't know, just fun. Like, I did not know it was going to blow up at all. I had no idea. I'm just doing the videos and giving genuine reactions. But the thing is, what I want to do is eventually take this audience, like I have done with Fighting Game, and take them and transition them, as many of them as possible at least.
Across to whatever else you do.
So the next thing now, what I'm going to do when I get back, I've been traveling a lot. I haven't posted a video in a month.
Yeah.
I've gained, bro, I had 13,000 subscribers on YouTube earlier this year, like whenever I started the series a few months ago, and now in a few months it's over 50,000.
Yeah.
So it's just been going really quick. Well, this series is going so crazy, right? Because it's a bigger genre versus fighting games, so specific.
Well, speaking of the size of it as well, currently your Rage Against the Machine Killing in the Name of like video is got 900,000
What?
views. Yeah, I looked earlier today.
900,000?
Yeah.
Bro, what the fuck?
Killing in the Name of. It's such a tune as
What?
well. I can't
it's
believe you
the
haven't
best-
heard that.
No, yeah. The fuck. I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. Let's air this out right now.
Yeah.
Bro, the internet is so cynical. I understand. There's so
Yeah.
much bullshit on the internet.
Yeah.
But there's people who be like, oh, there's no way you never heard this song. X,
Yeah.
Y, Z. Not in a joke, like you said. Some people really be accusatory.
Oh, yeah.
Like, bro,
It's just a great
I
song.
grew up in
the
the
hood.
fucking hood.
Yeah.
Let you come with me. I will buy you a flight. Go. Let's go to Ohio, or let's go to any hood in America, and we can drive around. Let's go to a party. I dare you, actually.
Oh, God.
But let's go to a party in the hood and see what the fuck we play in there.
Yeah.
We do not listen to Nickelback. We don't listen to any of that shit. We don't listen to fucking Green Day or Linkin Park. Linkin Park kind of fire.
Linkin Park
Right?
agree.
We might listen to a little bit, but really though. So we don't listen to that shit, bro. Now I'm gonna ask you this.
I love how you said Nickelback first.
Have you ever watched a movie called Juice?
No.
Okay, have you watched Boys in the Hood?
Yes.
Have you watched do you know the song Wipe Me Down? Could you sing it right now by
I
Lil
couldn't.
Boosie?
But no, I don't.
Okay,
know.
right? Okay, I could go on forever. I can go
Of
on for
course you
ages.
could. Yeah.
But the point is, if I go to the average black person, especially in the States, of course, you're not from the States, but still,
yeah.
they are going to know. There's a million things, like I said, that we all going to know that the average white motherfucker won't know. So it's just a culture. Don't be ethnocentric or whatever wording you want to use, guys, and assume that I'm lying and had never heard the fucking. If I'm going to tell you this, if my acting was that good, I would not be wasting my fucking time using that amazing acting just making reaction music videos. I would be in fucking Hollywood. being a fucking actor.
Hollywood Rob.
Hollywood Rob.
That's
TV.
what I'm saying.
So, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's a song for you. Okay, this is
What's this
This is the
band?
whitest song I could think of
All right.
to play you. So yeah, you got to decide.
I'll give you
have
my
you
genuine
heard this?
reaction.
Have you ever heard of this? And what do you think of it?
All right.
Some people say I look like my dad. Are you serious?
All right, girl, that bitch a little vibe. That's a little vibe, low key. Hold up. No, I never heard this. I would never listen to
We
this
should
song.
have done
Okay,
more of these.
listen, now
They're
listen.
called Bewitched, and they are 4 Irish sisters. So they're all 4 of them are sisters, and they were huge pop hits in like the late 90s, alongside like Westlife.
Never heard of Westlife.
Never heard of Westlife. All Saints.
No.
Have you seen the movie The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio?
No.
Okay. Damn.
I never heard of that.
But
I know
anyway.
who the fuck Leonardo.
Yeah, of
obviously
course.
I
It
know
was
that.
like the movie that after Titanic that like blew up again.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway, but that is like the whitest song I could think of. So I was
Yeah.
like, but that's
it's actually a
Bewitched,
little vibe.
Irish pop / folk music. But that banged in like the late 90s.
Now, see,
hilariously.
when I
like
give-
Spice Girls era.
When I give my reviews, there's a difference between I can say, okay, I can see what this song is good, like that one.
Yeah.
I can like, okay, it's catchy.
It's just pop, catchy.
Yeah, but I would not. It ain't like I'm a fucking play it.
No.
You get what I'm saying? You're not about to catch me on my way to the club. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Oh, man.
Get a girl in the car and everything, and I turn that. Imagine I
Dude.
turn that shit on. But look, it all comes full circle. Because
It
if you're
does.
famous enough, you can put whatever the fuck you want to
Yes,
put on it.
you
can turn
can.
on some Bewitched. And she
Damn.
gonna be.
C'est la vie. Dude. RobTV, you're
My
a
dog,
legend.
bro.
Tell everyone at home where they can find you. What's the Instagram, the YouTube,
Yes,
whatever
yes,
it is.
sir.
What
Yo,
do you
make
plug
sure
in?
y'all pull up to man's Twitter, bruv. You feel me? At Twitter. I mean, no, not at Twitter. It's not even Twitter no more.
It's X.
It's X.
Yeah.
But it's at RobTV. But on there, it's spelled RobTeevee, even though it's not how my regular thing is just Rob TV normal. And then, of course, YouTube, just look up Rob TV, and I'm going to pop up. And Instagram, Hollywood Rob TV. Hollywood Rob TV, as I usually say on stage. Much love to my boy Banks. So you know, bro,
Yeah.
this is my first podcast that I've ever been on.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, let's hope it blows up, my man.
Love, bro.
YouTube, Hollywood Rob, or
Yes,
Rob TV?
Just Rob TV on YouTube.
Rob TV on YouTube. Make sure you check it out. Thank you so much for watching, for listening on all of the platforms that you guys absorb your content from. And we'll see you very, very soon. Shh. Don't tell mum.